Hello and welcome. After almost a year and a half of being closed, in the wake of a decline in COVID-19 cases being reported, around 11 states are sending kids back to school again physically from the 1st of September. With about 30 cases daily in the national capital and consecutive days of zero deaths being reported, as the test positivity rate remained less than 1% for 89 days, the Delhi Disaster Management Authority, or the DDMA, decided to allow schools to reopen from the 1st of September in a phased manner. And on We the People tonight, we're asking, is this rushed or long overdue? Let's start with two of the most credible faces in the medical fraternity. I'm talking about Dr. Naresh Trehan, Chairman and Managing Director of Medanta, the Medicity, and Dr. Navneet Vig, Chairman, COVID Task Force, AIIMS, and the Head of Department, HOD of the Medicine Department at AIIMS. Dr. Trehan, as this devastating second wave of COVID-19 receded, schools had reopened in several states, at least for senior classes. Now schools in most other states are scheduled to reopen on the 1st of September. Your reaction, please.
So I think that there is a certain amount of danger in going this route, because if we learn from other countries, there has been experiments like this done, and then like in Japan, they opened schools and then had to shut them down because the numbers started going up.
They also held the Olympics.
And also if you look at the US today, what they are reporting with the schools opening, that schools opened after the July 4th holiday. And in the middle of July, in 1 week, there were number of cases were 38,000 in children. But in the middle of August, it went up to 138,000 in that week. So there is a word of caution there, that because it is very important that the protocols that are set with which we feel that we should open the schools, the children really don't, they can't resist meeting each other, getting close to each other, hugging each other. That's one thing. The other is about masking. Can they actually maintain the masking? Do schools have enough facilities to air the classrooms with the small? So all these things are very important. And what I understand is that in spite of the fact that our children are not vaccinated, and the US, at least 50% of the children going to school have been vaccinated above the age of 12. So if this is what's happening in the US, it just warns us that we better be very careful and very, very cautious about opening up. And if it starts that the numbers go up, and we have always been worried about the children because they are unvaccinated, and if a third wave comes and the adults have been vaccinated and the children have not, then there is a problem for children, and we do not have in our country enough facilities to take care of children if they get sick. So if you look at it, the state of Texas has just put out an advisory yesterday saying that their hospitals are full. They do not have the facilities for accommodating more, and that at least 4% of the patients are children. The second big data that has come out is that in the previous waves, in the US, there was 12 to 13% children in the affected people. But in this wave, it is 22%. Now, that means that there is a clear and present danger that we are facing with opening up in children who are unvaccinated. And if, God forbid, if they do get sick, there are not enough facilities, and they are also reporting long COVID syndromes in children. Third thing is that when children go home, if they are infected, then the elderly and all the vulnerable ones can also get, especially if they have not been vaccinated fully. So there are many, many variables here which we should be very cautious about. My feeling is, look, we have stood by for 18 months. Yes, children have suffered. Yes, there are many who cannot have the access to online education properly. That is all true. But we have a vaccine now, which is approved in India. Now, if that vaccine is rolled out the way it is said by Zydus by the middle of September or so, then the children can get vaccinated, and we are just talking about another 2 to 3 months when we can open up with more confidence. So caution is the word. The data shows that there is a lurking danger in doing this, and my feeling is wait till the vaccination starts. And as the kids get vaccinated, we can open up gradually as we have planned today.
All right, let's get Dr. Navneet Vig into. Dr. Vig, there's a slightly alarmist sounding statement that has been attributed to you, where you say we have to save our children in the context of whether school should be opened or not, and you say that you should treat children as unvaccinated individuals. What do you mean by that?
So about 1.5 years back, were we vaccinated? About 1.5 years back, or maybe even 6 months back, or 9 months back, were we vaccinated? We were not vaccinated. So what was our behavior at that time? So there is a difference between a vaccinated person and unvaccinated person. Our children currently less than 18 years of age are unvaccinated. So we have to treat them as unvaccinated people the way we were treating ourselves. The way we were treating ourselves. Have we opened up colleges? Have we opened up universities? If we have opened up colleges, we have opened up universities, there are many lessons which need to be learned. First, we should open up colleges because they are vaccinated people, vaccinated students. We should open up colleges, we should learn some lessons from them, and then we should think of opening of schools. We should not be in a hurry, we should go slow. This is not alarmist statement, this is protective statement. We must protect our children. It is same thing. Protection and saving is same thing. It was not alarmist. It was just protection. You have to think. These students are unvaccinated. They are not vaccinated. How we treat our friend matter. But important point is what is the lesson? What is the way forward? The way forward is that we get all parents and grandparents and all school staff, including sanitary worker, including canteen people, all these people in all the schools across the country should be vaccinated. So all grandparents, all family members of students should be vaccinated. That should be the first step, and then we should move forward.
All right. Dr. Trehan, we've seen schools in Himachal Pradesh, in Punjab, etc. They've opened, then they closed as cases rose. Cases will rise as schools reopen, as they will when malls reopen, when offices reopen. The problem here, doctor, is that parents are going to work and then they're coming home and exposing themselves to the kids. If everything was shut down, then yes, what you're saying would make sense, correct? But everything is open. Bars are open, liquor shops are open, malls are open, you know, indoor playhouses like Tumble House, etc. in Delhi are open. Kids can go there. Is it not true we have doctors saying that serological surveys show that 55% of kids across 5 cities already were found to have antibodies, which indicates that they've already been exposed?
So, Sarah, there is a very important difference here. Which virus were they exposed to? Why is US suffering and why is Europe suffering today is because of the fact that the Delta is variant and the Delta plus variants are so tricky. They are much more infective. They are much more virulent. Now, if those two facts are facing us staring at us, why should we risk the children's lives? I would like to know the logic behind it. Is it because we are saying we must open up everything? Yes, that's a good idea, but with some caution and with some data, with some thinking about it. When I'm saying that we know that they are unvaccinated, even countries where children have been vaccinated are experiencing such a wave after opening the schools, then when are we risking our children's lives by opening up when they have not been vaccinated? So the basic logic is, yes, they have to be opened at some point, but will it make such a huge difference in 3 months when you mitigate their risk and then go ahead and do what you have to do? Because if later on we realize that yes, then we made a mistake, it is very, very bad. When your children are affected, the reaction of the public is totally different than when the elderly got infected or they lost their lives. This is a different ball game. We should be very, very careful. That's all I'm saying. Now, what reasons there are? Yes, Delhi has had a very good track record now for many, many days. I agree with that. But the point is that untested is the school playground. Untested is the way the children will behave. It is still not clear what kind of variants we have hanging around us. So should we take that risk? In my opinion, no. Its children's lives are very precious. We should not. But then I'm not the authority. Let the government decide what they want
Let
to do.
the government decide, and who will take responsibility? Will it be the government or will it be the schools? But Dr. Vij, last question then to both of you, are doctors. Dr. Trehan was of course talking about Zydus Cadella's 3-dose Zycovid vaccine. But Health Ministry sources on this, on the rollout of Zydus Cadella's vaccine, which could start in September, and then I think it may take 60 days for all 3 doses. They said that not all children need the COVID-19 vaccination, that Zycovid will first be rolled out for the adult population, and that children comorbidities will be prioritized, that only 1% of adolescents between this 12 to 18 age are vulnerable to serious cases. So in that case, sir, it doesn't sound like it will be kept aside or prioritized for school. So it could not even be 3 months, next 6 months. When, Dr. Vij?
So what I'm trying to say is, what next 2 to 3 months, festival season is coming. What is important for next 2 to 3 months is schools to get ready. If you ask school administrators, are they ready? They may say yes, they may say no, they may be 50% ready, they may be half ready. There is a checklist. Are parents ready? We must ask them. So school, parents and children, all three must sit together, and the administrators and the teachers, they must sit together and talk and finalize how they want to move forward. It is the building. Vaccine will come. The way we said earlier, vaccines will come, they will come, Moderna will come, Pfizer will also come in some days' time. But issue is, are schools ready? Is school administration ready?
All right.
Are parents ready? Are teachers ready? So we have to go into that. We have to do brainstorming on that, and that is where we all have to come together to a platform where we have to ensure that the safety is important, ventilation in school is important, masking is very important, and vaccination at home and grandparents is very important. Population density, look at the population density of different countries. Our population density is so much. In Delhi, on 1st of April, we had 1% positivity rate. On 20th of April, we had 36% positivity rate. Imagine 1% is still very high. The way and the kind of rush it comes, the panic it creates, how fast it comes, it's not easy.
All right.
So we must be prepared, we must be ready. Only then we can do it. So my request is, go slow, go slow, go slow. First, ensure all protocols are in place. Are we going to test our children? Are we going to do home testing with rapid tests twice a week, the way it is being done in many countries? Are we prepared for that? Or are we going to use spit test or saliva test? So there are many issues which need to be answered, because they are unvaccinated people. They may be, it spreads very fast. We have to go slow. Online.
So go slow, be cautious.
Go on, and outdoor activities have to be promoted. We want children to, their neurocognitive effects, their cognitive effects, they have to be improved, their mental health, physical health. So this is the time physical activities to be promoted, outdoor activities, outdoor things should be promoted.
Okay.
Because everybody has gone through so much of stress. All families have gone through so much of stress. Now people are started coming out, so we have to take care of that also. There are multiple ways of skill building which can be done.
But are we prepared to open schools? This is a crucial week. Thank you both, Dr. Trehan, Dr. Vij. Thank you for your time and bringing us this crucial perspective. Thank you so much. So the big question, Dr. Vij there is asking, are we prepared? Right? Let's ask someone who represents schools, Amita Mullah Vatal. She's a chairperson and executive director of education, innovation and training at DLF schools and scholarship programs. Ma'am, are schools prepared? We know now, you heard Dr. Trehan, he was asking, can schools follow the protocol? Can schools be ready in terms of air, etc.? We know now, Dr. Vatal, enough about COVID. And we see visuals of staff in schools copiously cleaning desks, spraying sanitizer all over, and we're supposed to be lulled into this, idea that we're safe. But we know now, a year later, that it's not surface-to-surface contact, but it's ventilation we have to worry about. Are our schools prepared?
I think this is a very important conversation, and I think we have to come somewhere between being cavalier and being alarmists. So somewhere in the middle, we have to find our spaces. At one level, I would say that, schools are absolutely themselves extremely cautious about the way they should move forward. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be their accountability. So, and there are so many protocols in place. There are protocols across the world. There are protocols by the government of India. There are protocols within the school systems which have been embedded there. So when one is looking at school opening, one is looking very carefully at these protocols. One is also ensuring that we bring in our parents and create these parent walks or parent fam tours of the school so that they can feel that, is it ready? Is it okay for them? Should they come in? Is there something that the school lacks? Because I think unless the parent feels assured, unless the parent is on board, the question of opening school does not arise.
All right, we have some parents, we'll try and ask them. But Simran Khara is also a parent. She runs a startup. At the same time, she's Zoom educating her 5-year-old daughter. She's an alumnus of the ISB Hyderabad, ISB and London School of Economics and Sri Ram College of Commerce. Simran, you have been advocating the reopening of schools, saying that, schools must reopen as the losses from schools closures now outweigh any benefits gained from a shutdown. What would you say in response now? You heard Dr. Trehan and Dr. Vij asking everyone to be cautious this week as we plan to open up.
I think as a parent, nothing is more important to me than, the safety of my 5-year-old, right? And I think we'd all agree over here on this forum as mothers. Absolutely. But you asked a very good question earlier, Sarah, that are schools prepared, right? And I think schools are more prepared than malls, than multiplexes, than offices, which are closed areas with poor ventilation, right? That's the inherent structure of malls and multiplexes and offices. So I think it's time we rose above the fact that there is a problem. We do need to have certain protocols in place, but you've got to hear the other voice. It's extremely comfortable for some of us to say that let's continue with this mode. But there's more than half this country, which is crores of children who are being deprived of future today, right? You're basically telling this person that their future is doomed because there's no way that they're going to be able to learn reading, writing, arithmetic online because they don't even have devices, they don't even have connectivity. So I think it's a complete violation of a child's constitutional right to education. And you can argue today that this right to education has to be balanced with the right to life, but you have the right to argue that if you keep the mall shut, if you keep the multiplex shut, if you keep my office shut.
So
but
you're
my
saying
husband
it's a
is going
question
to
of
work.
priorities.
I am going to work. How can I not send my 5-year-old to work? I mean, to school to learn. I find this argument absolutely ridiculous. Experts have spoken. There may be 2 doctors here today who believe that this is their point of view. But I'm sorry, there's a head of ICMR. There's seroservice in the AIIMS, which have said that 2/3 of the children have been exposed to the Delta variant, which is exactly the variant which is going through the US, causing all of this chaos. So I find it ridiculous that we can still sit here, constitute expert committees and not listen to them. I'm sorry, but I'm a mother to a 5-year-old who's been home for 500 days. And I don't think anybody really cares about her more than me. And I, as a parent, will decide. I decide that my 5-year-old does not go to the mall. It is not safe for her. But I decide that she goes to a playground because that's important for her. Tomorrow, I will have the choice. Manish Sisodia, the education minister of my state, has told me I have a choice to send my child to school. I will exercise that choice. Another mother may choose to not do that, and I will respect her choice.
But we should have that choice. Right now, we only have a choice whether if I finish the show right now in Delhi and I want to go and indulge in some, window shopping at a mall, that I can do. But my child could not go to school physically. Just imagine, it's a question of priorities. But let's bring in some parents. We have Mahira Gupta. She's a class 8 student. Her mom joins us, Mansi Gupta. Mansi, you have 2 daughters, one in class 8, one in class 6. I think Nandika is with you. And we have Richa Kapoor. Do we have Richa here? Parent of a class 1 student and a class 11 student, Tarani Kapoor. Tarani, Manish Sisodia has said that online distance learning will continue, will be an alternate mode of teaching. If you prefer to continue online, you can do so. What have you decided to do and why? Do we have Tarani? Okay, Mahira, what about you?
I think the school should definitely open because our parents are going out being exposed to the virus from everywhere. Why only schools? If the schools are shut, then the malls should also be shut. And like our parents are also going out. We get exposed to the virus from anywhere. And I'm sure when the school opens, our school will take the necessary precautions like sanitization and social distancing.
Tahira? Or let me ask the mom who has a 1-year-old, because you know all students and teachers and staff will have to wear face masks compulsorily. That's what the SOP is, right? Inside the school premises. Richa Kapoor, you have a class 1 student. I mean, you have a child who's in class 1. So she must be about 5 years old, he or she. Do you feel comfortable that your child, confident that your child will keep the mask on, and confident that other children in your child's class who are 5 years old will keep their masks on?
So there is no undermining the importance of going to school at this point. But at the same time, I am very hesitant in sending my child because compliance is a big question mark.
Yeah.
Very small children. And it requires a overall kind of facilities and the kind of arrangements that are required at this point in time.
Okay, Richa, I can't really hear you. Mansi, what are your thoughts? Are you plan to send your kids to school?
Being a parent, there's always a constant conflict in the mind that, you know, is it okay to send the kids to school or is it not okay? But then my daughter here really pointed out, I think that was a correct point, that if she is exposed to all kinds of virus because of us, you know, why only the school is being limited? Why is the school only being restricted from being open? The malls are open, the pubs are open, everything is open now. We are going to meet our relatives, the kids are going to the park to play, and you know, with everything happening around them, they are anyways exposed to the virus. So what's different, it's going to be in the school. And I think the school will take the responsibility to actually, you know, make efforts that every child in the school is safe. And if they do it in a phased manner, and if they follow the norms and the regulations that the government has asked them to, then I don't think it should be a problem.
So you're confident. Amita Vatal, one of the SOPs is that all teachers, all staff in schools will have to be vaccinated. Did you have to do the vaccination yourself for all of your teachers, or did the government help you? I mean, I'm trying to figure out if there was a priority that they wanted to get teachers, educationists vaccinated first.
Frankly, Sarah, as early as March of this year, at that point I was a principal of Springdale's. I got the entire staff vaccinated with the help of the CGHS, which was part of the Delhi government. And then in fact by June, because we had envisaged that school was opening in March, it did, for the practicals of the board exams. And then finally the teachers even got the second dose by June. And I'm seeing that across, at least whatever I've seen of schools across various states, the teachers have been made frontline workers and they have been vaccinated. And I think at many ways the government has collaborated with schools and done it. And even managements of schools have organized it. For example, at the DLF, the managements have ensured that they've had these vaccination drives in the schools, not only for the
So you're saying
teachers,
schools are
but
ready,
also for the
schools
community.
have been ready, they've been waiting, they are
Yes,
prepared,
absolutely.
they're just waiting for the
in
go-ahead.
fact, I think the best gift for us in Teachers' Day is that schools should open in some manner or the other.
In some manner or the other. Tarani, schools, the SOPs say that classes and sections will have to be split up in batches of not more than 20 students per classroom, and students may have to come into school on a rotational basis, right, on alternate days, etc. You are the mother of a class 1 student and a class 11 student. Who would you say should be prioritized to go into school? Is it the senior school kids or is it the primary school kids?
I think I would prioritize sending my younger one because they have frankly, not even met children, or, the older ones are still coping up academically better. But with the younger ones, it's far more difficult. Their entire development has come to a standstill. They are not meeting their friends. They are interacting with their teacher. I mean, there's such a lot of sensorial experience which they are missing. So I really feel that I would like to prioritize my class 1. But again, there is a very big question mark, which is about the compliance. Now, the schools might make a lot of effort, but considering how populous our country is, and can you hear me there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just makes me very reluctant. These children might end up being carriers when they come back home. And simply because malls and other places are open, we cannot use that as an excuse to be in such a rush to send them to schools yet.
All right, this is a very complicated matter, and I do not envy anyone who is, in that seat having to take these tough decisions. But the question is, how will we be judged for this harshest school closure in history? Sorry to use the cliche, but time will tell how we'll be judged for that. Thank you all for joining us. Some tough decisions for parents to take this week. We wish you all the best. Bye bye. Good night.